Some photos look harmless, even ordinary, but if you look closer, you'll uncover the dark truths hidden behind them. These moments, captured in time, tell stories that will leave you uneasy. They hold the chilling seconds just before life was forever changed. Tonight, we explore 52 innocent-looking photos that have dark backstories. This is Mike Tyson shaking hands with a man named Dale Hausner. At the time, Tyson had no idea that Hausner was a serial killer responsible for 8 lives lost. Just days later, Tyson would learn the truth. A handshake that seemed so ordinary, now linked to a dark, twisted reality. Here, 21-year-old Nicole Carol Miller boards Flight 93 on September 11, 2001. A young woman filled with promise, moments away from a life cut tragically short. By the time this photo was taken, she was already doomed. In hours, she and so many others would be lost in the most devastating attack the world had ever known. Newlyweds Harley and Rhiannon, moments after exchanging vows. Their lives forever changed. On the road to their new life together, their joy turned to horror as a tragic car collision claimed them just moments after this photo was taken. Their happily ever after shattered. Harry Truman stands before Mount St. Helens, a volcano that would soon claim his life. This photo, taken just days before the eruption, captures him in his final moments. Despite warnings, Truman refused to leave his lodge. On May 18, 1980, the volcano erupted and Truman's fate was sealed in an instant. Jan Davis, an experienced skydiver, took the plunge from Yosemite's El Capitan. The photo shows her as she leaps, carefree, but this moment of freedom would be her last. Her parachute failed to open, and just seconds later, she fell to her death. A split second was all it took. Jean Harlow, a young Hollywood star, was captured just before she collapsed. Just 26 years old, Harlow would fall into a coma shortly after this photo was taken. Kidney failure claimed her life, leaving behind a world robbed of its brightest star. This photo was taken just moments before professional wrestler Owen Hart met his untimely death. While preparing for a stunt at a Kansas City arena, Hart's equipment failed and he fell 78 feet to the ground. A stunt gone horribly wrong, ending in tragedy that would echo through the wrestling world. George Mallory and Sandy Irvin were never seen again after this photo was taken on their Everest expedition in 1924. They vanished into the clouds, just steps from the summit. Did they reach the peak? We may never know. Their story remains one of the greatest mysteries in mountaineering. In 1913, a Mongolian man was photographed wearing the kangay, a cruel device that prevented him from eating. This image, captured with early color photography, is a haunting glimpse into the punishment and suffering under imperial rule. 3-year-old Madeleine McCann, captured here just before she disappeared on May 3, 2007. A vacation meant to be full of memories turned into a nightmare. This photo marks the last known image of Madeleine before she vanished without a trace, leaving a family and the world forever searching for answers. 16-year-old John DeReggie smiled for this photo moments before his life was taken in a horrific accident. Just minutes after this image was taken, an Amtrak train collided with him. A young life ended in an instant. 5 employees of Cantor Fitzgerald captured here before September 11, 2001. Among them, only 2 survived the horrific attacks that would claim the lives of their colleagues. This image serves as a haunting reminder of the lives lost that fateful day. A pregnant Sharon Tate, captured here just days before the horror that would unfold. 3 days after this image, she would become a victim of the Manson family murders. In this photo, she gazes at baby clothes, unaware that her life and the lives of her unborn child and friends was about to be stolen away in the most brutal way imaginable. In 2005, Dave Shaw attempted to retrieve the body of his friend, Dayon Dryers, from the depths of Bushman's Hole. His final moments were captured in this photo before tragedy struck. Dave would lose his life just moments after this image as he descended deeper into the cave, unable to resurface. 4-year-old Naomi from Colorado walked onto a frozen pond, unaware of the danger beneath. This haunting photo captures her footsteps moments before she fell through the ice and drowned. A tragic reminder of how fragile life can be, even in the most innocent moments. In December 2021, 9-year-old Aniston Rackley posed with her sisters in a bathroom photo as a tornado neared their Missouri home. Just 15 minutes after this picture, their house was leveled by the storm, hurling the family into a field. Aniston didn't survive. Her sisters did. This photo forever holds her smile, moments before disaster struck. In 2020, Alicia Suspicious took a photo to celebrate the end of lockdown, but moments later, she lost her balance and fell from a cliff while posing with a friend. This image is a tragic reminder of how life can take a deadly turn in the blink of an eye. In 2016, Gia, a visitor to Yashenka Wildlife Zoo, attempted a selfie with a walrus, but the animal dragged him into the water, pulling him under. Despite the heroic efforts of a seasoned keeper, both Gia and the keeper tragically lost their lives. This photo shows a carefree moment that quickly turned fatal. Captured here is one of the final photos taken aboard the Titanic. Douglas Spedden, a young boy, is seen playing with his toy. He survived the sinking, but tragically, 3 years later, he was struck by a vehicle. This image, now frozen in time, captures both the innocence of childhood and the horrific legacy of that fateful night. In 2012, Edward Archbold entered a bug-eating contest at a Florida reptile store, winning a $700 python as his prize. But moments after winning, Edward collapsed and died from choking on insect parts. What seemed like a bizarre and lighthearted contest ended in the most horrific way possible. This is the last known photo of Maura Murray, taken shortly before she vanished in New Hampshire in 2004. After draining her bank account, Maura disappeared, leaving behind nothing but questions. This photo captures the last trace of a woman who remains a mystery, even to this day. Chester Bennington, the lead singer of Linkin Park, was photographed just a day before he tragically ended his own life. This photo, snapped by his wife, shows the man who seemed to have it all, yet silently struggled with pain that would ultimately claim him. A haunting reminder that even those who shine the brightest can be hiding their darkest battles. Just moments before 40-year-old Roy George Tanasi Dekinyai fell off a cliff at Victoria Falls, this photo was taken. The beauty of the landscape captured here is in stark contrast to the tragedy that was about to unfold, a reminder of how nature's allure can turn deadly in an instant. On the day Gladys Ricard was set to marry James Preston Jr. in 1999, she was photographed just moments before her ex-partner, Augustin Garcia, arrived. This was the last photo of Gladys before Garcia took her life in a tragic, senseless act on what was supposed to be the happiest day of her life. These 7 crew members were photographed just before boarding the Space Shuttle Challenger. Moments later, just 73 seconds into its flight, the shuttle broke apart, claiming the lives of all on board. This photo captures their last smiles, unknowingly standing at the precipice of history's most devastating space disaster. Heather Price Papiotti stood on the Hoover Dam Bypass Bridge on January 16, 2014. The photo captures her in an instant of contemplation, moments before she made the tragic decision to jump. This photo, frozen in time, marks a life lost in a moment of despair. Princess Diana, captured here in the backseat of her car just hours before a fatal accident that would take her life. The paparazzi had surrounded her car as she traveled through Paris. Less than an hour after this photo was taken, Diana would be gone, forever altering the course of history. These are some of the last known images of NBA legend Kobe Bryant, snapped by photographer Bradley Smigel just before he boarded the helicopter that would crash and claim his life. The world was left stunned and devastated as one of the greatest athletes of all time was taken from us far too soon. On July 28, 1952, 4-year-old Robin Norris celebrated his birthday with cake and candles, unaware that just a week later he would be struck and killed by a vehicle. This photo captures his innocence, now forever tied to a tragedy that ended his young life in an instant. On Joe Lee Callan, pictured here with a view from a 40-foot cliff at Alabama's Chehaw State Park, was pushed to her death by her ex-boyfriend, Lauren Bunner. This photo, taken moments before the push, freezes the final peaceful moment of a life taken in an act of brutal violence. This is the last known image taken of flight MH370, moments before it vanished from radar, taking 239 lives with it. The photo, now infamous, marks the eerie final seconds before one of the greatest mysteries in aviation history unfolded, with no answers to explain what happened. Oliver Reed, captured here during the filming of Gladiator just hours before his tragic death. Reed, after drinking heavily in a drinking contest, collapsed and passed away. This photo, taken moments before, is a chilling reminder of how a night of celebration can so quickly turn to tragedy. This photo of Japan Airlines Flight 123, just before its ill-fated crash in 1985, was taken as the plane approached Tokyo's Haneda Airport. Less than an hour later, the plane would collide with Mount Takamakahara, killing 520 people. This image now stands as a silent memorial to the lives lost in that horrific crash. This haunting image of the 9 Soviet hikers on their trek through the Ural Mountains in 1959 was the last photo ever taken of them. Shortly after, they were found scattered outside their campsite, their bodies in unexplained positions. Their deaths, now known as the Dyatlov Pass incident, remain shrouded in mystery. This passport photo of Tom and Eileen Lonergan, taken before their scuba diving trip in 1998, captures a moment that would soon become their tragic final memory. Left behind by a scuba diving boat off the coast of North Queensland, the couple was never seen again, their fate sealed in the vast expanse of the Coral Sea. Captured here are the 3 astronauts of Apollo 1 during training in 1966. A year later, a cabin fire during a pre-launch test would claim the lives of Gus Grissom, Ed White, and Roger Chaffee. This final photo, taken just before their lives were tragically cut short, remains a symbol of sacrifice and the harsh reality of space exploration. This was one of the last known images of Robin Williams, taken before he tragically ended his own life. A beloved comedian and actor, Williams' death shocked the world, as his struggles with depression and Lewy body dementia had remained largely hidden from the public eye. This photo captures a fleeting moment of light before the darkness closed in. Christina Grimmie, performing on stage hours before she was tragically shot at a meet and greet, her life extinguished by a fan's violence. This photo, taken just before she took her final bow, now stands as a haunting tribute to a life cut far too short. Tim Bergling, known to the world as Avicii, was photographed just hours before he ended his own life in 2018. A global superstar, his death sent shockwaves through the music world, a tragic reminder of the hidden struggles behind the smiles and success. Ezekiel Zayas, reported missing in July 2019, was thought to have vanished without a trace. Yet months later, he was discovered secretly living in a Honolulu family's home. This photo captures the mystery of a man whose disappearance left questions unanswered and whose fate remained shrouded in secrecy for far too long. Harold Henthorne and his wife Toni were enjoying a hike through the beautiful wilderness of Colorado. This photo captures a moment before Henthorne pushed Toni off a cliff. Her tragic death was ruled as a homicide, leaving behind the eerie memory of a moment that turned deadly. Newlyweds Samantha Miller and Eric Hutchinson were captured here moments before they left their wedding venue. Their joy was short-lived when a tragic car accident claimed Samantha's life just moments after this photo was taken. A new beginning abruptly ended in the blink of an eye. Luis Fernando Ceballos and Alexis Rodriguez, seen here after being pulled over for reckless driving in 2021, were just beginning their night out. But within 15 minutes of this photo, they collided with a tractor trailer. Both would tragically lose their lives, their final moments forever frozen in time. This photograph was taken at 8:30 a.m. on September 11, 2001 from the Manhattan Bridge. Just 16 minutes later, the world would change. A plane would collide with the North Tower of the World Trade Center, setting off a chain of events that would alter history forever. This photo captures the calm before the storm. This is one of the last photos of Argentine soccer player Emiliano Sala, taken just before boarding the plane that would tragically crash into the English Channel in 2019. The world was left shocked as this rising star's life was cut short, with no one expecting that this photo would be a prelude to such a heartbreaking fate. Just minutes before Air Florida Flight 90 took off from Washington National Airport on January 13, 1982, shows the plane ready for takeoff. However, due to improper de-icing, the plane would stall immediately after takeoff, crashing into the Potomac River. 78 lives were lost in that tragedy, and this photo captures the final moments before disaster struck. Taken by a WABC-TV Brooklyn camera on the morning of September 11, 2001, this photo shows the Twin Towers, their looming presence still standing. Just 6 minutes later, the first plane would strike, triggering chaos and marking the beginning of a tragedy that would forever change the world. This photo is a silent witness to history's most tragic moment. This is one of the last images captured on Japan Airlines Flight 123, just hours before it collided with Mount Takamagahara in 1985. Of the 524 passengers on board, only 4 survived. This final photo is a chilling reminder of how quickly life can be lost, even in the midst of a routine flight. This final image of Buddy Holly, taken just before the plane crash that took his life in February 1959, captures a moment of innocence. The winter dance party, filled with music and excitement, would be his last. Just hours later, the plane would crash, claiming the lives of Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and the Big Bopper, forever altering the music world. These 52 photos may seem innocent at first glance, but each one tells a dark tale of lives cut short, destinies altered, and moments of tragedy forever etched in time. What appears ordinary may not always be what it seems. These photographs remind us of the fragility of life and how the smallest moments can change everything. If you're new to the channel and you enjoy contents like this, do well to like and subscribe, because more videos coming soon. Stay vigilant, for the shadows are never far behind.